I had come into college expecting there to be drinking and that definitely to be a culture of college. That was just something that you see in movies and you hear from friends, and something that definitely exists. I didn't know what that would look like on Northwestern's campus, but I knew it would be there in some capacity.
So I think a lot of my expectations were kind of based on either things I heard or probably like movies and things like that, honestly.
I guess the stereotypes of house parties, like people very drunk, being like very belligerent.
Oh, it's gonna be a crazy wild party, there's just gonna be tons of people, kegs and all that.
No matter where you were in the country, college meant alcohol in some way, shape, or form.
Every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, maybe Sunday night, we would like all be out drinking, and that's where you would get your friends.
When I first got on campus, I didn't really get it. I was like, okay, there's a lot of drunk people, but like, how are there so many drunk people crammed into one basement, and what makes this enjoyable?
I remember going out and going to like my first party and being like, wow, this is a lot. The movies weren't exaggerating sometimes when it comes to like the amount of people and the craziness that goes on.
Sometimes I forgot that technically underage drinking is illegal.
Some people definitely do drink a lot, and I definitely witnessed that my first few weeks here. But also a lot of people would go to bed because they wanted to wake up early, or they already had some work the first few weeks, or they had a lot of events for Wildcat Welcome coming up the next day.
Once school started, I was like, wow, I actually have a lot of homework and I have a lot of things I need to study for. And so for me, I was expecting like, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, be partying, but it ended up, okay, maybe I actually have to kind of tone that down a bit.
The community is open to, however you want to experience alcohol and other drugs. I'm not saying like you can't go and have fun, not saying you can't like make your own decisions, and everyone, I think, respects people's boundaries. Like if that's something you want to do and you want to experience, like great.
The upperclassmen and freshmen that I kind of fell in with as my first friends, they did drink, but there were other people in the group who didn't drink, and I never felt pressured to drink. I never felt like it made me the weird one in the group.
It was there sometimes, and it would add to the social experience, and if it wasn't, then I would still have like a great time with friends, and no one would judge for that or act any differently.
If coming into college you think college is going to be a lot of drinking and that's exactly what you want to get out of your college experience, you'll be able to find that here, and you'll be able to surround yourself with people who want to do that as well. And then there are plenty of other people who come into Northwestern never having drank before and don't plan on doing it when they're here, and there's definitely a place for those people on this campus too.
I never felt like every weekend my friends or the community that I was in was pushing me, and I don't think that's the case everywhere, but it's one of the cool things about Northwestern, that there isn't like a lot of peer pressure, but it is your own personal choice. I can think of like tailgating, which is like the tailgate season. I think it brings out a lot of like school spirit in terms of people are going more to the football games. They're really into Northwestern. You go and like enjoy your friends' company. It's like in the morning, it gets you excited to go to the game, and it's like I think a lot of people's like favorite time of the year.
Tailgates are like you not getting wasted. You're just like sort of hanging out in the daytime, and usually it's like sunny outside. Everyone's happy and like wearing purple, and you take cute photos for like social media.
I kind of like the interest in different kinds of alcohol as like a hobby, like interest in craft beers, or like how are we gonna like mix this drink, rather than just drinking like the terrible alcohol and then like chasing it, like how are we gonna make something tasty out of this.
One of the biggest pros that for me personally was that I never felt any pressure to partake in drinking, even when alcohol or other drugs were present.
I never feel like I have to be in a pressured situation to consume drugs and alcohol, because people are really understanding about if you don't want to consume drugs and alcohol, you don't have to.
There's a lot of people who are willing to take care of each other in the case that someone does run into trouble.
I've been to plenty of events, plenty of parties, plenty of times where while people have access to drugs and alcohol, there's also numerous people out there making sure that everyone's doing it in a safe way and making sure everyone, as I said, is taking care of themselves and trying to enjoy themselves to the best of their ability.
If for some reason it gets out of hand, people are like willing to step in and help, which is a sort of community that kind of formed naturally really early on in my Northwestern experience that I wasn't expecting.
I think one of the downsides is that people really do try to use drugs and alcohol to like escape some of the stress that they have on campus, especially on a campus where you feel like you always have to be building on top of what you're doing and feel like you have to outdo the next person because it's like some grand competition.
I do see a lot of people using alcohol as like a social lubricant, or they get nervous around new people, so they start drinking more. Like I've noticed just for myself, if I'm at like a party where I don't know a lot of people, I definitely start drinking faster just because I don't have much else to do. You just like kind of stand against the wall and just like before you know it, your drink is gone. And that's really risky.
I don't like that people think it's necessary in order to have a good event, in order to be seen as like supremely social, like successful. The only events worth going to are the ones that have the best alcohol and the best access to drugs or anything like that.
The party scene revolves around Greek life in particular and fraternities in particular, which I think makes a lot of like women on campus feel like they don't have as much power. And I wish there was an idea that you don't have to go to like a specific organization to attend like a party. You can hang out with your friends. Like you don't have to go to a place that you are unfamiliar with in order to have fun.
I don't like the pressure of like people expecting like, oh, you're at a party? Okay, so you're gonna get drunk and find someone to hook up with. Because like more often than not, people aren't actually looking to hook up with someone at a party. They just wanted to go to a party. It's this weird culture that like you have to meet someone at a party if you want to hook up, or like at some other event that involves alcohol. You can't just like meet someone on a regular day and be like, yeah, sure.
People who are interested in like having some casual sexual experiences, hookup culture, that whole thing, will often rely on alcohol to facilitate that. And while it's kind of a complicated thing, because I do think that it's possible to have like casual, fun sexual encounters that are healthy and safe and great, but I think a lot of people on this campus tend to rely on alcohol to make that happen, and that makes it pretty unsafe.